Welcome back, welcome back. It's BDB. You tuned into the NevaLoss podcast. Today we're talking all things Lions. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Stay tuned.
I ain't never lost, never in my life.
All right. Today we talk about my Detroit Lions, man. They got to go into KC, and they got to figure out a way to go get this dub, man. We going to listen in to my boys over at Woodward Sports. They do great work on all things Lions. Also, anything that got to do with Detroit sports, man. They talk about the Tigers, the Lions, the Pistons, everybody, man. They do very, very great content. Subscribe. Check them out, man. If you want to keep updated on all things Detroit, we're gonna talk about and listen in on Dan Campbell's media availability. Check that out, and then we're gonna give our predictions for the game on what I expect and what I think is gonna happen in this big game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's tune over to Woodward Sports, man. This first clip is gonna be a little rant. You know, they're talking about Terry and Arnold and how the Detroit fans have been super hard on them. I know myself, I'm very, very guilty of that. I've been hard on them. I hate them a lot of the times. But I can't lie, I've been walking it back a little bit because he is asked to do a lot. He's in single coverage a lot. He doesn't have help a lot. So it only makes sense. You know, you see number 6 up there a lot of the times when there is a touchdown. But for the amount of time he's in single cover press coverage, man single press coverage, he doesn't get cooked as much as the film shows. It seems like a lot of touchdowns ends up on his head, but it's not as bad. He don't get 150, 200-yard receivers on him a ton. You know, they might get 1 or 2 catches. They just, to me, be critical catches. But we're going to tune in and see what they got to say. Let's back it up a little.
Need to stop with the Terry and Arnold stuff, because guess what? Jamar Chase with Terry and Arnold on him yesterday. 3 targets, 1 catch, 3 yards. Mark me, Spenny, am I making that up?
Yeah.
You're not making that up.
Is that factual?
That is
Good
factual.
numbers. Good numbers.
Is he handsy? Is he physical?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Terry,
He's
give
very handy.
me that 100 times out of 100 over someone that's given a 7-yard cushion every time. It's Jamar Chase, everybody.
Right, what are we talking about? Here's
All right, so you can't really argue with that. Three targets, 1 catch, 3 yards versus arguably the best receiver in the game. That's
With the Terry and
tough. That's tough. I can't lie. That's tough. I can't lie. But I'm gonna be honest. He gets so many penalties, man. He gets a ton. Every game he gets a penalty. I just need him to be clean. No penalties for a game, man. I don't even care if you get cooked. I don't care what happens, bro. Like, Hutch got a safety. Terry Arnold penalty. Hutch got a strip fumble. Terry Arnold penalty. The game before, like, it's always the critical. We just made a big play, and then we got a penalty from Terry Arnold. Those are the things that I have a problem with personally. But overall, I think he's better than sometimes when I'm expressing in my hatred for him, because he seems to be the Lion that gives up the most touchdowns and big yards and different things and critical penalties. So that's why he's heavily criticized like that from myself or whatever. But that's pretty much what I'm talking about. The big plays and the penalties and dumb situations, man, when we really needed to buckle down and get a stop, and then he gets this penalty, and now the other team goes down and they get some points, and it sucks. But I understand his frustration because the noise is loud on Terry and Arnold. How much a lot of people in Detroit despise how often the noise is very loud, man. On how often people feel like he get cooked and they despise him in Detroit Nation. So I understand his frustration. It's a little bit harsher than maybe it should be, but he got to stop getting all those dumb penalties. Let's tune into another clip from theirs.
believe it wasn't. It wasn't business as
No, it
usual.
wasn't.
Had a bunch of penalties. They left a lot.
So just to give you some context, I'm sorry. He's talking about how ESPN Catalyst was saying, hey, Detroit Lions, business as usual. They took care of business in Cincinnati, and he's giving a breakdown of his take. I lean with him a little bit, but I'm taking a little step further from what he was saying.
On the field, they had great field position and screwed it up. It was not business as usual. If it was business as usual, they would have scored a minimum of 21 points, possibly 28 in the first half.
In the first half, I absolutely agree.
I disagree because it was business as usual from the standpoint of they won through the trenches. They wore you down over the course of the game with their run game.
Everybody knows if you're saying Detroit Lions, business as usual, yeah, you are going to win through the trenches, but they're going to score points. They forced 2 turnovers in that first half, and they only ended the first half with 14 points. That means they struggled a lot because the 2 turnovers, I believe they got points off of both of those turnovers, maybe one, but that means when we didn't have a short field, we weren't marching down the field. Goff was in duress majority of that game. Anytime we dropped back, he couldn't get a pass off the J-Mo to save his life. So I don't agree with this.
That is
Goff
Lions.
was magnificent.
Exactly. That's Lions football.
And
They stuck to the
No,
identity.
that's not true.
When Goff fumbled, then it wasn't business.
But
as
his
usual.
blind side was getting blown up.
That's not business as usual because your boy
Yeah.
wasn't there, Taylor Decker.
But
That's a
once
fact.
again, you was gonna get what you was gonna get with that. I don't necessarily
All right,
blame him.
young
for
man,
that. He could have had a worse game.
I'm
than
going
that.
to put you under the spotlight.
All right, go ahead.
At the end of the first half, when you saw it was 14-3, did you say, "Oh yeah, Lions offense, man"?
Business, hey, we gonna keep that one going. But so far, yeah. Again, I think their idea of business as usual is just saying, hey, we're getting a little bit of a run game. We're winning. We're up 14-3. The defense is playing good. That's cool, but that's not. I mean, that's part of Lions. But his point is, man, we got 2 turnovers. And, that we had a lot of opportunities to drive down and score the ball, and we weren't doing that. We were having a lot of trouble. Goff could not get those passes off. He couldn't do anything but a 3-step drop. He had to get the ball out of his hand. And, we threw out this game might have been the most. Well, no, Green Bay was the most. But other than that Green Bay game, this was definitely the most punts we had since that Green Bay game. Let's go back to it. We'll check out the rest of this one.
At the end of the first half, when you saw it was 14-3, did you say, "Oh yeah, Lions offense, man, they're kicking ass"?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as high flying as it normally is, but they can win in multiple ways. That's the evolution of this team.
Then
that I
it's
don't
not
think people
business
realize.
as
I'm not
usual.
They don't
talking
have to
wins and
win
losses.
with.
Listen to them. It's not high flying, but they can win in multiple. Then that's not business as usual because they've been cooking and putting up. They're the leading scoring team in the NFL. That's what we talking
I
about.
said after the first half, did you look at the Lions offense and say, "Yeah, those are my boys. They
Yes, I do, Terry.
Yes. They
Yes, I
same
do,
team.
Terry.
Yeah, really?
I did.
The Lions lead
capping.
the NFL with
They
22
capping.
touchdowns.
All right,
The
that's
only
not
other
what-
team
what
in the
about
NFL to
defense?
produce these touchdown totals through the first 5 games of any season was the 2000 Rams. You
All
know,
right.
the greatest show on turf?
Terry, I
Baby
agree
boy,
with you.
baby boy. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying in the first half, period.
The
Did
first
you look at
half.
the first half and say these motherfuckers are playing some offense?
No.
Did they walk down there, get up to a 14-0 lead? And here's the other thing that
Then
they did,
it-
because
look.
of the circumstances, right?
All this
They
talk
didn't go
around.
for it at
All this
times.
talk
They
around.
punted. They passed
Right,
up on a
they-
field goal attempt.
Look, this is him talking. That's again another one. We had multiple opportunities to go for it on 4th down. And for the first time, Dan Campbell was like, I don't want no smoke with that. Because Cincinnati was getting that Goff every time. Them 50, we on the 50 or the 48, and it's 4th and 3. That's the line. We going for that all day. Man, we was terrified. We did not take any chances versus them, which was, again, that's not business as usual. That's being careful because, hey, this is a tougher game, man. That defense was getting at us. Let's go back to the
plan look the same as a typical Lions offensive game plan, or do you think that they were aware of who was across the field for them, especially at the quarterback spot, and changed based on game flow? Can we agree on that?
I will agree. I will say
I
this.
agree
They
that.
probably didn't respect Cincinnati as much, and they figured they didn't have to do everything they usually
Which they
do.
didn't.
Right. So
I don't
therefore,
know
the
if I
offense wasn't
agree.
as good as it usually is.
I saw a different philosophy on third down from them. I saw a different philosophy, and yeah, they had 14
Very
points at the
different
half.
philosophy.
Then they scored 14 points in the third quarter,
Right.
and then the
You
game
saw fear
And when your
because
defense
they
is
was
playing
getting
that
that.
well in the first half, 2 takeaways, like
Listen, this is all against this is against their argument, man. If you're saying you saw this, I saw a different philosophy. But you know why you saw a different philosophy? Because they were nervous about how much that D-line for Cincinnati was getting after Goff. That's just it. It wasn't business as usual.
you can afford what happened on offense in that first half. It's not the end of the world.
And then when you say a line like that, then you're agreeing it wasn't business as usual.
It's just when you go back.
You know, you gentlemen are absolutely right. It's not the
Absolutely.
end of the world. You can applaud yourself for having a 14-3 lead. My thing is that wasn't business as usual offensively in the first half.
I agree.
I'm not talking about again.
Yeah, so great point. He brought it home, man. Great point. I lean that way. I agree 100%. It definitely was not business as usual. We had some issues. So, again, we could have very well lost that game. If it wasn't for how good our defense was playing and how bad their quarterback was playing, I can't lie. I think the way we played, we should have lost. And that's only because Goff was having trouble creating any, it's hard. He threw some touchdowns, he got some passing yards. But if you watch that game, you know it was tough. It was tough. He was under so much duress. And, you know, the running game did get some yards, but it was, even they were struggling in that first half. The second half, they opened up and everybody started cooking. Goff started cooking, the running game started cooking. But if we didn't get those turnovers in the first half and we went into that locker room and let's say it's 14-14, I think we got a way different game in the second half where their defense is still on fire and just feeling it and just pushing through and pull hard trying to win the game or whatever, and which they, not to say that they didn't play hard in the second half, but when your quarterback is throwing so many picks and throwing temper tantrums on the sidelines and different things, you just kind of lose your edge and be like, man, we're not going to win this game. So, again, I think they could have played a whole lot better. But we're going to go over, let's talk Dan Campbell and Kansas City Chiefs, and then I'll go over my predictions for what's going to happen in the game.
All right, real good opponent here. Got a lot of respect for what Coach Reed has done. Spagnuolo, man, outstanding defensive coordinator. They've been intact. That staff, these players have been intact for a long time. You know, they got a really good system. They're good at it. They've evolved, you know, to the point now where they've kind of seen everything. They kind of do everything. They're very good at it, very disciplined. You know, offense starts with the quarterback, man. They got speed on the perimeter. This back is a violent runner. He's got juice.
Speedy
this
receivers.
It's a good offensive line.
A lot of speedy receivers at KC.
And then defense, you know. They got 95 there in the middle. He's disruptive. I think Bolton's an outstanding linebacker. Key diagnose. He's all over the field, smart as hell. McDuffie's a good player. Cook's a good safety. I mean, they got a number of guys. 56 can get on you. So it's a big challenge. The special teams, they play hard, man. They play fast over there. So we got our work cut out for us out at Arrowhead. Great environment. Sunday night, you know, against a champion. You know, this is this big-time opponent. You know, these guys know how to win. And so, man, we're looking forward to this. This is another one of those. This is why you do it. This is why you're in it. And, man, we love this stuff. So, but it all starts today, right? Questions?
Coach, you guys were still kind of building your identity when y'all went out there in 2023 and played at Arrowhead. What did you take from that experience as you guys were becoming this team that you are now, being out there and getting that win that first week?
Well, the first thing I know, you go back and watch that game, is you could tell it was the first game of the season. It was, there was a number of things, and they would probably say the same thing too. It was, there was a lot of things that, boy, you wish you would have done better. But at the end of the day, man, we hung in there, and we really played it. We talked about it. Great complementary football. That's what won us the game, between special teams, offense, defense. We all, when we needed it most, each unit picked up the slack, and we were able to hold on there and pull out a big win. So, that was big. I felt like that kind of kicked our season off. Guys really believed we could go out there and win and play their tails off. So, that was good, but that was also 2 years ago. So,
And when you look at the way Hutch is playing right now, 4 straight games with the sack, he's top 3 in pressures and sacks and quarterback hits in the whole bit. But when you watch the tape of how
Hey, Hutch has been lights out this year, man. I can't lie. Earlier in the season, I had concerns for Hutch coming off his injury. And the fact that first game, I felt like he didn't disrupt enough versus Green Bay. But yeah, he's definitely, he's back to the Hutch of last year, man. And he's a beast. He's a beast. He's absolutely needed on this defense, man. He's cooking.
teams play him, just how important is he and what he does to your defense?
I mean, I don't know if I can really put a value on that because I don't know if there's a big enough number. I mean, he's extremely valuable. The number of things that he's able to do for us and in the run and the pass game, it takes up. He pulls a lot of slack, man. You talk about pulling your weight. He pulls his weight and then some. And he requires a lot of resources offensively, which helps everybody else out. And guys like him, he's in that rare world of, man, you don't get the easy way out, man. Like, he's got to beat the nudges, he's got to beat the back chip, then the tackle's on him, or he's got to beat the nudge. Sometimes the back, the tackle, and the slide's coming to him with a guard also. So sometimes you may have to beat 3, sometimes 4. But if that's the case, somebody else is winning. They got to win. So what he does is not easy. And I go back to this, man. He is a complete football player. He does it all. And he's disruptive. He's violent. He's high motor. He's crafty. He's explosive. He's tough. He's competitive. And he does it all. Does it all.
Speaking of Hutchinson, there was a report a couple weeks ago that you guys had reached out to the league, a report from ESPN that you reached out to the league regarding cut blocks.
That's bogus. That's a bogus report. I don't know where that came from. Nobody from here ever did that. That's bull.
Okay. I was just curious if you saw any difference.
Dan say, don't put no smut on my name. We want snitching. I hear you, Dan.
No.
Okay.
No, man.
Okay.
Nope. Game's played a certain way. That's the way it goes, man. It doesn't matter whether we're doing it or somebody else is doing it to our guys. We know that, and we play accordingly.
Two cornerback questions. Just it sounded like you guys got good news on Terrion. Is that true? And how soon could he be back?
Well, I mean, it sounds like we got a different report, right? There's a second opinion that came in, and so now it's okay. Let's see if we can strengthen a little bit, get a little bit of inflammation out. I don't know how long that's going to be, though. So I still may kind of go back to he may be out a while.
Yeah, I mean, this sucks to hear, man. We definitely need cornerbacks, man. We need Terrion, especially with DJ Reed. He's already gone for at least a month, hopefully. This Terrion Arnold injury only lasts a month because it's going to be tough in KC to win with Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed out. It's going to be extremely tough.
So, but yeah, I mean, the second opinion came back, and it sounds like it could be promising, but that's no guarantee either. So we're kind of in this wait and see, and we'll hold off here a little bit and just see where he goes.
Surgery for now, at least.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. Yeah.
Question, Amik. I mean, he's sort of been a staple here for you for the last, season and a half. I guess really since last year. The guy at that position that's always been out there.
Amik, tough. He's a tough corner, man. He's hard nosed. He tackles well. He plays pretty good coverage, close. I'd say 15 yards and below. He's really a solid corner. But I feel like he does make some mistakes on the deeper. Maybe it's the double moves or whatever. I feel like he gets beat deep, more than I would like, man. But he's a really good corner though.
What sort of value is that? Comfort does that give you, knowing that this guy, whether he's inside or outside, is always going to be there for you?
Well, he's a man. He's more than a security blanket. Like, this guy is. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to get him here as a free agent, because he's so feisty and competitive. One of the things he really majors in is man coverage, and he's a sticky cover guy. Very confident. He's got great hips, movement skills, and he's got ball skills. So, we are completely comfortable with him playing outside and playing in the slot. Man, he's another guy. Thank goodness we got him. Because we don't feel like there's a drop off with Meek. He's gonna go out there and compete, man. We're not worried about him.
Just with the uncertainty with Taylor right now, if he were to miss extended time, would you consider moving Panay to the left side, or do you not differentiate the value between those two tackle positions?
What we've talked about it, and I think a lot of times what happens was Sol could easily go over there. He'd want reps. He'd want reps for the week. Just let me get a few reps. But he'd go over there and handle it just fine. It's really more about if it's not Decker, the other guys, and where are they most comfortable. And then Sewell, by default, will go away from that because he can do it all. So we've talked about it. I don't want to say that's off the table, but that's probably not the first thought, being honest with you.
Hopefully we get Decker back soon.
A couple of games. What are you looking to see from him to potentially get back in the mix there for the defensive line?
Well, look, it was good to get him in there for a game. And then we just felt like, hey, man, let's give this guy some more time just to get his legs under him, get him a little more seasoned. He'd only had really a week of practice, if that, coming off of that. He had no training camp. But we do feel like, man, he's getting better and better every week. Look, we like where he's at, and we're fortunate. We got pretty good depth in that room right now. Brad's done an unbelievable job. And we got some length, we got size, we got a little speed. We got some versatility, so I'm glad he's here, But it's not his own doing. It's like any of the rest of the guys, man. You just keep working, and our eyes are always open in practice. I watch those all the time. I watch both sides of the ball. I'm looking at the scout team, and those you can earn your right to get back up just by the way you practice.
Chiefs. Their receiving core has tremendous speed. I think 3 guys with reported 4.340s. When you have that kind of speed that you're facing, what are maybe some of the added challenges defensively?
Well, this goes back to you can do everything right. You can be disciplined, man. You can play the coverage. You can we'll top some of this stuff. We'll be disruptive on the releases, and then all of a sudden, man, you missed on one. You missed, or you didn't quite get to your landmark in the back end, and all of a sudden, man, there's 60 right over the top of your head, or you get a catch and run.
We're gonna end it there. Yeah, so talk about those Chiefs. Yeah, they definitely got a lot of speed at the receiver position. Obviously, they got Pat Mahomes, man. This is gonna be a tough game in Kansas City to win, especially with all those defensive backs we have hurt. If we didn't have the defensive backs hurt, I believe the way that Kansas City's been playing, the way we've been playing, I think we win this game pretty easily. Well, let me not say easy, but I feel like we will win this game with our secondary being so depleted. And our O-line, even though, he's saying that they're getting better, he's thinking about working people around to help on that left side. That sounds all good and well, but with our O-line having injuries, it don't sound like Decker's going to be back this week. Our our defensive backs being depleted, everybody's hurt. I'm going to say we go into Kansas City and we put up a great fight, but ultimately we take an L in this game, man. I'm thinking the score is going to be right at 38-35, man. We're going to lose by 3 points. No, actually, I'm gonna say it's 38-34. I think it's gonna be a 4-point victory. Kansas City wins, man. They're gonna hang 38 on us. We're gonna still put up our points, but it's just gonna be just not enough from us to win in that environment, that hostile environment. Also, with all the injuries that we got, man. Again, this is BDB, man. That's my take. Like, share, subscribe, man. I appreciate all the love. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, and we're going to keep going from there, man. NevaLoss Nation. Y'all have a good one, man. I appreciate y'all.